Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and this is Millionaire Mentorship Call number 300. Can you believe that? Number 340. And our topic for today is a little misleading, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. Refocusing your life for success. Refocusing your life for success. And it was a topic that I really wanted to deal with today because we're really still in the first month of the year. We're about halfway through the first month, and many of us are really settling down into where we're going from here. Where do we go from here? Welcome, Hakia and Janelle, JC from Barbados. Welcome. And so when we think about that, where we go from here, the question is, what must we do to prepare ourselves for outrageous success for this year? What must we do to prepare ourselves for outrageous success? So when we start thinking about the idea of refocusing, let's look at what is focus. And focus is our ability to place our intention and our attention in a particular direction on a particular outcome. Now let's look at this. Intention is what you intend to do. It's almost like, this is where I want to go. This is my intent for taking action. Attention is what you give your energy to. And so when your intention and your attention are on one accord, you create a harmonic vibration which raises your energy level. And so when we look at focus, focus is really the ability to declare that there's something that we want, something we want to have, something we want to do, and to commit to concentrating on it, concentrating your efforts, concentrating your money, concentrating your resources, concentrating whatever you have, your time especially, to get it done, to achieve, to accomplish that thing. And so when we really look more into focus, focus is one of our most important tools, because wherever focus goes, power flows. I'll say that again. Where focus goes, power flows. And so whatever you focus on, you literally give your energy to. And back to that very, very powerful formula, E, energy equals MC squared. And conversely, M, mass or manifestation, equals energy divided by the speed of light squared. And that's a rather technical definition, but on a spiritual definition, your energy level, the higher your energy level in a particular direction, a particular intention, and a particular attention, the more powerful you become to attract the results that you're seeking into your space. It's all about energy. And so focus is energy applied over time. I'll say that again. Focus is energy applied over time. When we undertake a project, so now we're at the beginning of the year, we've written our goals, we've written our plans, and we are now, putting the pedal to the metal. We're going out to make it happen. And so focus is that energy that we have created within ourselves applied over time. Winston Churchill once said that success is about moving from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is a form of energy. Enthusiasm is that energy from within. Entheos meaning God within. And so focus is taking the energy that you have, the desire that you have, that passion that you have to get something done, and applying it over time. If you only focus on something for a moment, it's really not focus. You're just giving your attention to something, but your intention is not necessarily there. Focus creates a harmonic relationship. Now, it's all about energy. The law of attraction, we hear so much about it, but the law of attraction is really about energy. And so when you focus on a particular outcome, you create a harmonic relationship between your consciousness, yourself, and that particular outcome. And this harmonic relationship grows stronger and stronger the more intent you are, the more focused you are, the greater attention you give to that particular outcome. Napoleon Hill talked about, he said, singleness of purpose, where you focus and give your attention to one thing with such strength or degree that your energy level rises and you become more attractive to that which you're seeking. You see, life is always about an inside job. It's always about the energy that you create through your efforts, through your over time, that makes success possible. So when we talk about refocusing your life for success, there are two ways to look at it. Number one, we can look at it from the point of view of refocus, where refocus is, you might say, reactionary, where because of the things that have happened to you, you have to refocus and get back on track. So the reactionary aspect of refocusing means maybe you've hit a rut, maybe you've gotten distracted, maybe you've gotten discouraged, maybe you've been in a bad relationship and now you're trying to make a comeback. And that's okay. That's important, because over the next year, things will happen where you'll have to pull your focus together to get out of it, to move on. But the other side of refocusing that we want to talk about is, I call it affirmative refocusing. In other words, we don't have to hit the rock. You see, that reactionary refocusing means we've hit a rock and now we take steps to get back on track. Affirmative refocusing says, what can I do now to get where I want to go in the most effective manner? And so to create outrageous for success this year, we want to look at how can I use the refocusing process in the affirmative so that I don't have to hit a rock. How can I use the refocusing process up front so that I can avoid as many of those rocks as possible, so that my life can be, as we say, smooth and beautiful your way? So what do we have to do? This is a little different approach to use the refocusing in the affirmative way. And it is refocusing because wherever we are right now, we got here based on our choices, our actions. And so what can we do right now to give us the best opportunity for success, for outrageous success over the year? There are 8 steps to creating that, to refocusing affirmatively, so that you can avoid the pitfalls, so that you can avoid the negative experiences. Step number 1, always be aware of the truth of your situation. Very often we become very attendant to the truth of our situation when we have a challenge. One of the great reasons for obstacles and for challenges is that it makes us pay attention to who we are and what we're about. So when a challenge hits you and you get stuck or you get knocked down, we start to look at who we are, what we're about, to help us get back up. So if we use that affirmatively now to say, from moment to moment, let's always do a reality check. Sometimes it may be called mindfulness, to always be mindful of the totality of your existence at every moment. And that mindfulness means that you have incorporated everything about you, who you are, what you're about, and where you're going. So what's the process for this? By being critically discerning of our thoughts, of our feelings, of our habits, and our associations. And so this means to focus our thoughts on the glass being half full, putting the law of anticipation to work for us to help us to say, hey, everything is going great, but more is coming. When we only think thoughts of possibility, thoughts of potential, positive thoughts, we put that first law of success into action. We become what you think about most of the time. A mind shall have whatsoever it thinks in its heart. And so this idea of doing that, being constantly aware of our condition from moment to moment, means that we entertain thoughts that are congruent with our situation. To be discerning about our feelings. So many times our feelings are impacted by external events. That things can happen that we had no control over. But the power of focus is that we don't have to respond to we have total power over how we react to the event. We may not change the circumstance, but we have power over our feelings and over our attitude towards the circumstance. So that when something happens, we hit a rock, we can say, my goodness, this is a great opportunity for growth. When we're in a relationship and somebody shows you who they really are, we can, rather than being sad and hurt, we can say, woo, boy, I ducked a bullet on that one. When they show you who they really are, you say, good, thank you so much for letting me know who you are. Now I can act accordingly. You know, that attitude is so powerful over this next year, because no matter what our situation, we have the power to change our attitude so that it works for us, to always focus on the good of what we're seeking. There's an interesting story about a person, a lady, very beautiful lady who was having some cancer treatments, and she was losing her hair, but yet she never changed her attitude. She was always positive. And someone looked and said, my goodness, you only have 3 hairs left on your head. And she joyfully said, oh, great, I can braid them. And she kept that positive attitude, that healing attitude. Another friend said, my goodness, you only have 2 hairs on your head. She said, oh, great, I can part them. Finally, someone said, oh, my goodness, your hair is all falling out. You have 1 strand left. The lady says, oh, great, I have a ponytail. And so the idea of controlling yourself moment to moment, so that whatever the circumstances are, you always see and feel what you need to feel to get around it, to get over it. Your habits. We'll dwell on this for a moment, because your habits are the subtle things that undermine your performance, that undermine the outcomes that you seek, and give you outcomes based on the habits that you're demonstrating. Are you always tardy? Are you always unprepared? Your relationships, your associations. From moment to moment, be discerning about the people that you're dealing with. Be discerning about the people that you're in a relationship. So this one step 1, sets us up to eliminate future pitfalls, so that the goals we have for this year, we have a greater possibility and probability of attaining them. Step number 2, to take responsibility. You know, we often hear athletes when they lose, I take responsibility, I didn't do my job, you know, we weren't with it. Take responsibility in advance so that you live your life affirmatively. We often say, if it's to be, it's up to me. Well, using that from the affirmative side, be what you want to be. It all starts with being. So when you take responsibility for what it is, for what's going on, then you eliminate denial, negative thinking, avoidance, blame. And you totally focus on the fact that your external conditions have no control over you, have no control over your response to them. That no matter what happens, there's always a response that you can give that will make you victorious. Number 3, be perfectly clear about what you do and why you do it. Let's say that again. Be perfectly clear about what you do and why you do it. And the reason for that is this, that when you're clear about what you do and why you do it, you eliminate the doubt. You eliminate the potential for negative thoughts coming in and undermining your efforts. We often tell the story of how we do things so automatically that we are not aware of the why. The story of the young lady around the holiday season, the youngest daughter in the house watched her mother baking the ham, and she cut the ends off the ham and put the ham in this big pot. The young lady said, "Mom, why do you do that?" And she said, "Because my mother did it." And when the grandmother showed up for Christmas dinner, she said to her grandmother, "Grandmother, I see Mom cuts the ends of the ham and before she puts it in the pot." She said, "You do it. Why did you do that?" The grandmother said, "Because my mother did it." Wow. A few months later, they went to the nursing home, and the great-grandmother was there, and the little girl asked the great-grandmother, "Grandma, great-grandma, you know, my mom cuts the ends off the ham before she puts it in the pot. My grandmother said you did it, and that's why she did it. Why did you cut the ends off the ham?" And the great-grandmother said, "I cut the ends off the ham because the pot was too small." Many times we do actions based on previous limitations and not be discerning about why that limitation exists. So be perfectly clear about what you do and why you do it. Eleanor Roosevelt said something very powerful. She said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." And so when you're clear about what you do and why you do it, you can now discern some of the situations that develop when you get off into a helping cycle. And let me explain that a little bit. Sometimes many of us are in that situation where we are the go-to person for everybody's problems. That whenever a person has a situation, they always come to us. If they have a money crisis, if they have a relationship crisis, we are the go-to person. And so when we ask that question, what we do and why do we do it, we have to look at ourselves and say, why do I let this person pull me off my path every time they have a crisis? And you may find that there's a need inside to you, a need to be needed, that is detrimental to where you're actually going. And so when you determine what you do and why you do it, it gives you the ability now to be discerning about your actions so that you can preclude future problems by acting with optimum efficiency in the present. Number 4. Oh, folks, this is a heavy one. Number 4. To learn to say yes and learn to say no. When we do that affirmatively, when situations come into our space that are not congruent with our goals, our vision, and our purpose, then it's automatic. That's not for me. When people come into our space that are not congruent with our goals, our vision, and our purpose, it's automatic. They're not for me. And so when you learn to say yes and to say no, that's powerful, because now you are truly the captain of your ship. You see, you choose what you permit to come into your life. So say no to other people's crisis. Be helpful, but don't let them pull you off your journey. Say no to negative thinking. It will undermine your efforts. Say no to situations that you know have been unproductive in the past. Say no when people bring things to you that you know are not congruent with where you're going, and what you want to do. Say yes to possibilities. Say yes to good feelings. Say yes to good habits. Say yes to good people who can help you grow and go. Number 5. Always remember your why. Always remember your why. You know, in business, many of us are in network marketing, and the first thing that people ask you is, what is your why? Why do you want to make a commitment to work hard at this business? Why? Because I want to create money for my family, for myself. Why? Because I want to create financial security. Why? Because I want to travel, because I want to live somewhere, because I want to learn something. In other words, your why fuels your desire. So when your why is small, any obstacle can push you off the path. But when your why is strong and powerful and based on your deep desire, then nothing can stop you. You see, the why is that emotional bridge that connects us to our goals. Because it says it's not just that you need to achieve this goal, that there's a reason you must achieve this goal. Because you can see what your life could be like when you achieve this goal. Did you know how it's going to feel you achieve this goal? So focus on your why continuously, because as long as you focus on your why, and when I say continuously, I mean throughout the day, on a daily basis, not just when you hit a rock. So many times when things go wrong, you say, oh, remember your why to get back on track. Let's say focus on your why and you won't go off track. That's the essence of this lesson today, is don't go off track in the first place. Lay the tracks of your life. Step number 6. Live your priorities. Live your priorities. You see, your priorities are basically value judgments. That when you focus on your why, you determine what's important. So if a particular activity, a particular thought, a particular emotion, a particular habit, a particular association is not congruent with your why, you eliminate it. Based on your why now, you can set priorities for your actions. And so if you always live your life from a level of priority, then you won't go off track. You see, when you follow this advanced, we call it affirmative focusing, you are literally creating a harmonic vibration between you and what you're seeking, between you and your goals, your vision, and your purpose. And each day that you live this, your vibration gets stronger, and your ability to attract what you desire into your life strengthens. And so when you live your priorities, you know from moment to moment that whatever you choose to do is the right thing for you based on where you want to go. You live your priorities, you say, what is the best use of my time right now? When I consider my goals, my vision, and my purpose, and then you act accordingly. So if you always do that, you may not hit a rock. Step number 7. Always take action. Always take action. Folks, do you know that you always take action? It's impossible not to take action. Sometimes the young people say, I'm just sitting here chilling. Action is manifested choice. Action is the manifestation of the choices you make. So when you choose to do nothing, that's an action, and the results come accordingly. You see, the results we experience in our lives are the result of the actions that we take in line with the focus that we operate in. And so if action is manifested choice, then you're always in the game. And I want to use game affirmatively, positively. In other words, life is always about a game. And a game simply means life is always lived in accordance with certain rules of operation, with certain objectives. That as long as you live, you're in the game, you're in the matrix. And the actions you take, either consciously or subconsciously, either actively or passively, always create a result congruent with those actions. So if you always take action now, the most effective action based on the choices that are congruent with your goals, your vision, and your purpose, you will always create a harmonic vibration and raise that energy level and make you more and more magnetic to attract the things that you desire. Number 8, keep going and growing. Each level of growth creates a new vibration, a new harmonic. So as we live our lives, we don't go through life, we grow through life. So whenever there's an obstacle that you encounter, look at that obstacle as an opportunity for growth. Whenever it looks like you fail, when other people say you fail, take the attitude of Thomas Edison. When they said, Mr. Edison, you failed over 5,000 times to identify this filament to create this light bulb you keep talking about. Mr. Edison said, no, I have never failed. I have successfully identified 5,000 ways that do not work. And so when you keep going and growing, each step that you take strengthens you, creates a vibration. You see, the source of vibration is also action. And when you take action, it's manifested choice, which means that you've created a mental state congruent with what you're seeking. And so action then is the way to help you become the person you want to be, to help you create outrageous success this year. And as we put this all together, you say, as we take action, action builds confidence. Willie Jolly said, every setback is a setup for a comeback. So that whenever something happens unexpectedly, you look at it from the point of view of, wow, this is an opportunity for growth. Whenever things don't go your way, you said, oh, there's a lesson here for me. Let me learn the lesson. So that you always grow through it. And as long as you grow, you go. You know, the difference between a diamond and a piece of coal is pressure. The same pressure on a piece of coal can convert it into powder, if that coal does not have the resiliency to resist that pressure, so that the pressure facing the resiliency of the coal causes the energy level to rise, which then converts it into a diamond. So the challenges that confront you on a day-to-day basis, when you grow through them, when you take action dealing with them, you become that diamond. As someone once says, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Well, in a sense, that's true. So affirmatively, don't let it kill you. Affirmatively, choose life, choose success, choose the positive, and the same will come unto you. So folks, this day, this cycle, we're in a position now to use focus affirmatively, to not have to get back on track, but to lay track that goes directly to your goals, your dreams, and your vision. So we have the power now to do that reality check on a moment-to-moment basis, so that you're always mindful and aware of where you are in any particular time and how that fits in with your goals, your vision, and your purpose. We're in a position to take responsibility for our situation, because as long as we take responsibility for it, we can fix it. We can build on it. We're in a position to determine what we do and why we do it, so that we can eliminate things from our lives that are no longer operable. Sometimes the past has a stickiness, especially past failures, has a stickiness that sticks to you. So you can choose to discard the failures of the past. There's a reason why your car has a bigger front mirror than the rear view mirror, because life is meant to be lived looking forward. We have that power to say yes and no, to now discriminate, to now discern that which comes into our space, and to give our permission only to those thoughts that enhance us, to give our permission only to those feelings that uplift us, to give our permission only to those habits that boost us and help us become more efficient and effective, to give our permission to only let people into our space who love us, who lift us up, who can help us. We have that power to stay focused on our why. The spiritual principle says, keep a single eye, that whole world be full of light. That single eye is to be always focused on the why, to never forget why you're doing stuff. Never forget why you're undertaking this particular endeavor, because it is through that why that your burning desire increases, which increases your vibration, which increases your energy, which attracts that which you're seeking. Live your priorities. Develop the habit of being priority driven, so that we say, ask yourself from moment to moment, what is the best use of my time right now when I consider my goals, my vision, and my purpose, to become so congruent with your why that it's automatic what you have to do, that you get in the habit of doing the right thing, of doing the things that are conducive to your success. Take action. Action is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Take action no matter what. Be totally aware that the only time is now. The only opportunity to change the future is now, and to act accordingly. I think Eleanor Roosevelt said that yesterday is a canceled check, tomorrow is a promissory note, today is legal tender, cash in hand. And then finally, keep going and growing. Every opportunity, every experience is an opportunity for growth. And so there's never a failure, there's only victories and lessons. You can do more when you know more. Oprah said, when I know better, I do better. So when you keep going and growing, you become more and more harmonic with the goals that you're seeking, which then means that that energy level increases. When you keep going and growing, you rise to the occasion of every obstacle, knowing that your why is bigger than any obstacle. And as you accomplish things, your faith grows. You see, faith is the substance of things hoped for and evidence of things not seen. Faith is enhanced by your actions, your congruent actions, so that the more that you do, the more that you encounter, the more that you overcome, the more that you rise to the occasion, the higher you are in your energy, in your vibration. Venus Williams once said, I don't focus on what I'm up against. I focus on my goals and ignore the rest. Let me quote Venus Williams again. I don't focus on what I'm up against, my obstacles, my opponents. I focus on my goals and ignore the rest. The how is created through the vibrations of focus. That the stronger that harmonic relationship between you and your goals, that energy manifests the why. So someone once said, you just focus on the why, take action, and keep going and growing, the how will manifest. Absolutely true. So folks, when you can do these 8 things, these 8 steps, then you can create this year outrageous success. Then you can lay a success track that is so clear that nothing can stop you. That you can create a harmonic vibration that makes you totally magnetic for all that you want, so that the strength of your vibration becomes so high and so powerful that you get instantaneous results. Someone once said that the master teacher, when he said the master teacher was so complete in his vibration, was so one with his goals, his vision, and his purpose, that said, when he called Lazarus from the grave, if he had not called Lazarus by name, every one of those dead people would have gotten up. You have that power. And when you use this power, you have the ability to be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have whatever you want to have, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is.